All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Goddess Giselle podcast. I'm your host, Goddess Giselle. If you're new here, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, y'all. We apologies for the delayed but not denied. We're going to jump right into today's episode. First of all, I just want to give a brief intro to why I created this platform. I wanted to amplify the voices of women who are making impact in their communities across the world. And so we've talked to people in the UK, in Canada, in the United States, in California, Alabama, New York, so many different women who are bringing so many global perspectives to the conversation. And this space is dedicated specifically for women who are making an impact. They're pushing, they're moving, they're doing things in their community and beyond. It's really, truly brag worthy, if you will. So without further ado, welcome to episode 21. Our special guest today is Kourtney Hayes. Kourtney, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Giselle. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This is so exciting, y'all. Before we get started, again, if you're new here, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And so, Kourtney, we're going to jump right into our conversation today. Please go ahead and share your name, location, and your title. And if you wear any hats, in your family, whether you're a mom, an aunt, etc., feel free to include those as well.
Okay. Yes. So I am Kourtney Hayes. I am from Birmingham, Alabama. I say Birmingham, that's just a central place everyone knows. I technically live in like the Alabaster area, but I am a mother, a sister, a daughter, an aunt, and all of the things. Any other title, I'm sure I'm it as well. And what else did you ask me, Giselle? I'm sorry.
I think that was it. So those are the top three. And then a fun little icebreaker I like to do on the show is to name 3 women who inspire you and why.
Okay, so number 1, I'm going to say my mother, Alma Hayes. She inspires me because, of course, she is the force that I grew up watching day in, day out, care for me and my twin brother. And most of the time, I'm going to be honest, she was doing it alone. My daddy was always there, but my mother was the one who was hands-on and who did all of the heavy lifting, right? I never have seen her bat an eye. I've never seen her complain. And she'll do anything within her power to help or anyone around. Number 1. Number 2, this one, I'm going to say Michelle Obama. I got to say Michelle Obama. And say her because in 2019, I had the opportunity to go and actually watch her do her book tour. I was in Montreal, Canada. I took my son. My mom was with us. And that was so empowering to see a Black woman on that stage leading with grace, style, and elegance. And really, I just want to exemplify everything that she gave, that she served during her time as the First Lady, as the POTUS. Yes. And number 3, and she's one that stands out for me right now, and that is Danessa Marix. Do you know who Danessa Marix is? The cosmetic.
I don't.
Okay, so the reason she's one of mine right now in this moment is because I was watching a clip from Gayle King. Danessa Marix and a lot of other beautiful Black women were on the stage for a conference. And Danessa basically told her story as to how she was a single mother raising her children, and she basically built a beauty empire. And I can resonate with all of that. And one of the things that stood out to me that she said in her speech was she prays that everyone has the courage to disappoint anyone who has made you feel small. So that means don't limit yourself. You go out there, do your thing. Don't shrink for anyone. You stand firm in who you are.
Wow, that is so powerful. And I love that. She said, do not shrink and disappoint them.
Yes. And these aren't her exact words, but girl, when I heard it, I said, hold on, sis, let me run this back. What did you say? She said praise, because she was picked on her whole life. She was actually called the ugly, like she was called ugly and all of these things. And to take all of that and to build herself up into who she is right now, basically it says she prays that anyone who's trying to do a thing has the courage to disappoint anyone who's ever made you feel small in your life.
Wow. That is so powerful, Kourtney. Thank you for sharing. And I will have to do my research on her because she sounds like someone I need to know, right? Yes. So, hey, I'll take notes. Kourtney already dropping gems. First 5 minutes, we're getting tea, we're getting quotes. So I love that so much. And Kourtney, and fun fact to the audience, me and Kourtney actually go way back, right? We've been friends since our college days. But what is new, what is interesting is that we both have grown and we have evolved. And when I reconnected with Kourtney a while ago, one thing I said, I have to get to know you again. I have to have it's like a reintroduction, because sometimes we can find ourselves comfortable in our friendships or relationship. But then when people start blooming into God, into who God has called them to be, sometimes you have to have a reintroduction, right? And I think that's powerful, because you need to there always needs to be space for people to grow. And Kourtney, I am so excited to jump into your story today, because honey has been blooming over, I don't know, I think since the pandemic, really, because this whole platform started after the pandemic. I realized the world has changed there, and it will never be the same. And to me, for the better. And so we've all kind of gone on these personal journeys during the pandemic to kind of get to know who we really are. So Kourtney, talk to me real quick. If we could pivot a little bit, let's say we were during the pandemic. Where were you in life around that time? Because I always like to open up with, the center point of why we started this platform.
Okay. During the pandemic, if we're talking 2019, I was a new mom. I'm not a new mother, but I had recently had 2 babies back to back. Kinsley, who was born in 2018, and Kaylee, who was born in September of 2019, right on the brink of the pandemic of COVID-19. So at that time, I was working night shift as a bedside nurse in the hospital setting. I was in school working to get my master's in nursing administration, and really just working hard, sleepless from the babies, just building myself up, trying to build myself and become who I am. Oh, also at that time, I think I started one of my businesses too. I started Hayes Investment Groups, and I started buying property. So all of that was taking place during that time frame.
Wow. So you were in, kind of doing all the things. And then when the pandemic happened, everything shifted. And Kourtney, tell us a little bit about background of your career, because you started out in nursing, right?
Yes, I am a nurse.
Okay.
I have a master's in nursing administration. I graduated in 2010, and I've been a nurse ever since that point. Even though I'm not actively nursing at the bedside or managing within a facility or healthcare system, I still keep my licenses up.
Gotcha. Okay. And so we started your career in nursing, and what inspired you to leave nursing to start your business? And did the pandemic have an impact on your decision at all?
Yes. So in 2021, my mother is a nurse as well. She is a case manager, right? So during the pandemic, she was having the hardest time trying to find transportation for some of her COVID positive patients. So much so that she was just like, oh, this is difficult for me. I was up, we had a conversation at night. I was up in the middle of the night. It was 2 a.m. I remember it plain as day. Do you know I started my LLC for patient transportation in October of 2021 at 2 a.m. And the reason the name is so generic, I was sleep deprived. I was just like, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to start a business. And wow. So that's how that began.
So in the middle of the night, you were inspired because you saw a gap. You saw something like, hey, this isn't working, and you decided to take action. Were you scared at all? Did you have any like intuitive things like, if this doesn't work? Or was intuition saying like, hey, this is what you need to do? Like, how did that even come about?
So if you know me, and I didn't know this about myself until I started to take a look at my patterns. I jump before I think. So I did a thing before I thought of all of the steps that it was going to take to get there. Now, like I said, that started in 2021. The incorporation of that business was in 2021. I didn't start being active in that business at that time. God had other plans for me. And when I tell you, you have to trust his plan, his divine timing. And I speak of this a lot because I see it so much. So at that time, after that, I was a quality improvement coordinator for one of the hospital systems. From there, I transitioned to a director of nursing at a nursing home. Those two jobs gave me the skills that I did not know that I would need to run my business. But looking back at it, I'm like, God, you knew exactly what you were doing. I incorporated that business in 2021, did not act on it until 2023. But during that 2-year period, he was developing me to give me the skill set needed to run my company.
Wow. So what is the name of your company for those who are not familiar, and what is it that you do? Because it sounds like we're jumping right into the business conversation, which is really why I wanted you here, Kourtney. I feel like you are killing it as an entrepreneur, and I know it's not as easy as it looks. And so I really want to dive into that. So for the record, tell us about the name of your company and what it is that you all do.
Okay. The name of my company is Patient Transportation LLC. Like I said, very generic, very plain, but it serves its purpose. This is what we do. And what it is a non-emergency medical transportation company. So we transport clients to and from hospitals. We work with discharge planners, getting them home, getting them to nursing home facilities. We work with case management and social workers within the nursing home facilities, transporting them to doctor's appointments and dialysis appointments or whatever needs they may have as far as transportation goes.
Okay. And what year? So I know you started the incorporation, but where year did you actually make the jump? And you're like, okay, we're going to get started. I'm going to actually get this business running. What year was that?
That was in 2023.
Gotcha.
In 2023, wow. Yes. So
3 years 2023. Ago. So after you started LLC 21, you got inspired. Again, it's all very much relative to the pandemic and what was going on, which you are the first nurse that I've been able to talk to directly. I mean, my sister nurse. And so I was there with her, hearing her journey. But the nursing industry and nurses across the world, I mean, United States, because I was, local, but across the world were put into very, very tough circumstances during the pandemic. Of course, the working conditions, but also just trying to figure out how to maneuver through that. And shout out to you as a nurse and to the entire nursing medical industry, because wow, I became a mom recently, and I was like, I fell in love with our labor and delivery nurses, and I'm just like, nursing is it's a calling, but it's also something that you don't really notice until you're in the thick of it, right? And so. Right. Thank you to every nurse that watched this. And we're talking to Kourtney Hayes, who has transitioned from nursing bedside to being a business owner. So what gaps in the NEMT industry did you identify that led to launching patient transportation? So like what gaps did you see straight forward where you're like, you know what, I can actually fill this gap?
Well, for one, I didn't notice that there were many companies out there in my area that was doing that. Also, I noticed that there were times when people were late, that just things weren't happening the way that they should. And I'm not talking about for everybody, but I did notice it. And so my thing is, I'm like, I don't care how many people are doing it. If I'm standing in my purpose, God is going to lead me. He's going to guide me, and we're going to be okay. So I just kind of took it upon myself to jump out there and give it a try. Why not? There's McDonald's on every corner. There's a Burger King on every corner, Crystals and all the other things. Why not have multiple different companies who can provide a service to people in need, right?
Yep. So what did it look like? Talk us through getting that first client or getting that first yes. I know that sounds hard in itself, right? Because when we're delivering services, you got to have clients. So talk us through how you were able to build up that first client even. What did that look like for you?
So when I started this business, I did not have, I'm not going to say I didn't have a plan or I didn't think it through, but I did. Like I said, I jumped out there and figured it out along the way. And I'm not saying for anyone to do things in that manner. That's not smart, but that's what I did. And I was literally getting dressed every day because at this point, I didn't have a job. I left my job and I said, we're going to make this, it's going to work. There's no backup plan. I mean, there is, but we're going to make this work. So I started going to different nursing homes, trying to have meetings with the leaders in the nursing home facilities, trying to see if anyone would give me a chance. At this point, I am the driver. I'm paying the notes on these vans, on these insurances. And I'm like, hey, we have to go. We have to get these wheels turning. After that, I would meet with different people just to see if there's anything. I would go to networking events to see, okay, how can I get involved in the community? What's available? Just getting my name out there, getting the branding out there. And then a friend of mine recommended, he was like, well, why don't you call the ambulance services and just see if there's anything you could do or if there's any spillover. And this one particular day, I had a family call me and they were like, hey, we need transportation. I was like, how did you hear about me? Because I'm like, whoa, this was my first thing. How did you hear about us? And they were like, well, we called so-and-so and they were busy, but they did say, you could try this company since it's non-emergent. Just try them out and see if they can transport you. And that's how we really got going in our residential space. And initially, most of my clients were word of mouth, and that's what got us going.
Wow, that is so cool. So you're doing it word of mouth, hitting the ground running, thinking too much too early, and then just going for it. And then here we are. Fast forward from 2023. How has your operation built to launch? So from 2023 to today, how many vehicles did you start with? How many staff? I know you said it started with just you. But from 2023 to start until today, what does that scale look like?
So I started with 2 vans. Most people probably start with 1, especially if you don't have like a large backing and it's just yourself. But I started with 2. And so at that point, I was like, okay, we need drivers, because I would walk into facilities. I was doing all the driving myself from 4 a.m. And then they'll see me again close to 7 p.m. And they're like, girl, I'm like, hey, we're going to make this thing go. I'll sleep later, right? And so now, fast forward to today, we have 7 vans running today. So we cover a lot of areas.
And you have, and it's yourself. And how many people are you servicing or supporting, or how many people support you in your staff, or just kind of like as you continue to grow? Because I know you said you started with just 1. So how many people are on the company today?
Right now we have I would say about 15, give or take a few. We have about 15.
That is so amazing, Kourtney. In 3 years ish, we just got into 2026. So we're really talking in a 2-year time frame. You went from 1 to 15, from 1 to 6 to 7. Like, talk to me about growth. It sounds like you're still growing, but what did it look like as you were growing? Was it challenges did you face as you continue to grow, and were you able to kind of keep up with the pace? Because I could imagine, again, post-pandemic, medical health, medicine, all of that became like in the front of everyone's mind. So did you did you face any challenges with scale quick or things like that? How did that look?
So what I noticed is, as I was going out there, like, I think the biggest thing is being a service that people can trust to do the job. It is scary for a new company who is just starting out to trust them with your loved one, your relatives. So for one, building that rapport, that trust, that was the first thing. And then as far as scaling, as people began to trust the business, we grew, right? But with growth, growth is a good thing, but you're not always prepared for all the things that come with the growth. So for one, having an overloaded schedule, trying to service everybody and not realizing, well, if I'm held up with an appointment, so this client isn't ready. So it's going to back up your entire day. It's a trickle down effect. And so you're trying to get to the next client, and now they're upset because you're behind schedule and you're late for their person. So all of that is still something to this day that we're learning day by day, because some of the variables you can't help. Just like it randomly snowed the other day in Alabama. And with the snow and traffic and all of that, that threw us completely behind. But you just try to tailor the schedules as much as possible. So that's one thing with growth. Another thing with growth comes expensive costs. So you have to make sure that you can cover and handle everything that comes with growth, because your insurance doubles, your van, your vehicle, your overhead doubles, your employees, all of that is a cost. So you just have to make sure you factor all of those. Some people look at it like, oh, I just want to grow, I want this many. And some people look at their competition and say, well, they got this many, I want this many. I have learned to stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Don't try to rush and have what someone else has. You stay put, you do it. And one thing that I noticed when I first started out, I was like, Lord, I want all the contracts. I want all the work. I want all of the things. But if God would have given me everything that I asked for right out the gate, I wouldn't have been able to handle it. So I say slow and steady is the best way to go.
Okay, y'all heard it first. Slow and steady. Take your time. Jump in too quick. And if you jump in quick, learn how to swim, because you don't want to drown, right? And that can happen so quick. And I'll say this, and I really appreciate you again coming on the platform, because I'm always tuned in with the girls online and what the sentiments are. And one thing I'm hearing is that women are looking for what they call a boring business, a money business, a real business, like not beauty, not popular, not, oh, I'm trying to be something online so I could get money. The girls are looking for things that make money. Okay. Make money because you're in business to make money. And I think that's something that I learned early on too, is that when you're in it for the branding, or you're just trying to do something that is popular or trendy, you're probably going to fail first. And then you'll have to figure out what to do next. Right. And so I literally have been seeing this sentiments like on social media. The girls are like, what can I do to make money that is something that is solid, that is grounded, that can actually help me build a business? And even Emma, her name is Emma Grind. She's also a podcaster, but a former Shark Tank, actual shark on Shark Tank, big time woman in business, rather. She said that women need to think about making money as a business. Do not go into, or do not feel bad for saying, hey, I want to start a business and I also want to make money in that business. And she says that you have to center this idea that you're in it to make money, because if you make money, then you can employ more people. You can have more, you can give back more. You need to be thinking for profit first. And I really appreciate that mindset. And also, Kourtney, with your business, you were saying earlier, like, oh, it's just a regular old name. That's exactly what it needs to be. Okay. It's called Patient Transportation. We transport patients. It's genius because it is simple and you're able to reach your audience. And so let's talk a little bit about marketing. I know you said word of mouth, that's building trust in the community, but are there any other avenues that have worked for you with marketing and growing your business and your clientele?
Really and truly what I found is that being present, showing your face, knocking on doors, that's been the biggest, most helpful thing to me. Now, of course, you have your social media platforms and things like that. And of course, you can get on television, but marketing that's an expensive part of your budget. If you were to factor in all the many ways to market, it becomes a really huge expense. So for me, just going out there, letting people see who I am, see that we're here, we're going to make sure things are taken care of, like all of that. I think that has really helped.
Thank you. And I go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to add one more point. When you're removed from it as an owner and you're not going out there and showing that you're here for the business, you're here for your clients, people begin to not trust you, or they begin to go with the familiar thing or someone who is present. So it's important to be present, for your business.
Thank you. Yes, I had a friend. She literally said the exact same thing. She said that someone was trying to do a business. And she said she wasn't present long enough to really see the results over time. meaning she was just doing it a little bit. But if you really get present in what you're doing, i.e. running your business, even more so showing up in front of the customer, like, hey, I'm the person who owns the business, that's going to take it to the next level. And it kind of reminds me, because you're a CEO, Kourtney, I'm going to put you in the rank of CEOs, such as the burger trend that was online, where the CEO of McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's, they ate their burger, and people, it was trendy because it was nice to see the CEO of the company at the restaurant eating the burger, right? And so it created like this little burger war in the marketing community, which I'm a part of. And I was just like, that is so funny. And then you had the Costco CEO, he went and tried a hot dog. He's like, hey, I eat our hot dog. So the fact that you're saying that as the CEO, when you're in the midst of the work of the business, it builds the trust. So, wow. I mean, you think we would know that, but honestly, I feel like with the online, why do you think we don't realize that, or that's something that's up for debate? Like the CEO being removed from the company versus being right there in front of the customers. I don't know why that is.
I think a lot of times as a leader, a owner, or a CEO, you do get bogged down with the day-to-day operation. And a lot of times the day-to-day operations can be taxing mentally, physically. That's a lot. We wear huge hats. The responsibility is tremendous. Like I said, I mean, 15 employees might not sound like a lot to some people, but to make sure 15 employees are taken care of, that they are, the needs are met, not only them, but the clients. And when the complaints do come, because they come, I'm not saying we're perfect. And when the complaints come, having to filter through all of that. So to handle that, all of that, and be present, that is it's a task. So I think a lot of times it is easier for the CEO to take a back seat as far as being in the limelight or being the face or the person that you see on a regular basis. It's hard to wear so many hats, right? But it's important that you still find time and budget that within your time frame, or prioritize that when you're making your schedule. To, if not, you can't do it all the time, but every now and then you have to pop out there and say, hey, how are you? What do you need? How can I do this better? You know?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for that, Kourtney. And I want to pivot a little bit to talk about the fact that you are a mother of 4, running a business full time and maintaining a nurse license, also showing up in your friendships and in your family relationships. And it's just a testament of your resilience. And how do you like pour back into yourself? Like, what do you incorporate as far as self-love to like make sure you're staying balanced and able to show up and be present in all the other hats that you wear?
You know, I will say this. I think one thing people don't take into account when it comes to, and I'm not just saying me, but for someone who balances a lot, they think it's easy to set a date and say, okay, come here and do this. I'm like, wait a minute. I have 4 kids. I have a business that I'm running. Not only that, I'm doing things in the gym and doing things for myself. So it's extremely important. And for the people who don't understand it, you have to let them be okay not understanding your life and just move how you need to move. And that has to be okay. But for me, how I take care of myself is I do step away. I do step away from time to time. Just like my kids had spring break, I handed the ropes over to my employees, and it's been about a week since I've been hands-on in the day-to-day. Don't get me wrong, I still answer emails. Some people do have my personal contact, but if not, you'll be completely overwhelmed if you don't have a moment and say, you know what, I'm going to step away for this amount of time and come back refreshed. And then to the gym, I stay in the gym. That to me gives me my breath sometimes. And then just to be able to focus, channel out, and think whatever I need to think, just put it all out there in the gym and then come back to it, to the kids and everything, you know?
So gym, travel, those are your base, like,
definitely all of that. And it only lasts for a moment, but sometimes you just need a second to detach and come back, you know?
True. And speaking of gym, I don't want to sleep on your gym routines. Now, Kourtney here is giving gym I mean, it's a lifestyle. Okay. They have you're doing so, it's so inspiring. Y'all got to follow her. I'm going to make sure we share context so y'all can see the level of discipline that you show and through your social media with the gym. Let's talk about that for 2 seconds, because I am a new mother, and you know, and a lot of women are watching, and so let's talk about finding the mindset. Like, just tell it to us straight. Okay, how do we like lock in mentally to find that flow for the gym, or even just working out? Because I mean, y'all, she's downplaying it here. She's like, yeah, I go to the gym. No, she's like really inspiring. Like, girl, you could compete at this point. I'm telling you, like, and I know people who compete, or from my community, from my hometown. I'm like, Kourtney could do that. Like, if you wanted to get on a stage, you can actually do that. And it's so empowering because, again, you are a mother of 4, you've birthed children, and you're just doing that. So talk to us about mindset and discipline when it comes to the gym.
So the gym, it's like anything else. Like, even with starting a business, you will not get anything off the ground unless you are 100% all in and focused. So for me in the gym, what happened, so before I even got a trainer, I was in the gym 3 to 4 days out of the week anyway. I was doing cardio and core. Those are my things. I wasn't heavy lifting. Then I saw my trainer in the gym. I saw her all the time, but I saw her training a younger girl. And I was like, I need a trainer, especially because somebody in my gym was like, you need to start lifting weights. I'm like, I'm scared of weights. But anyway, once I made the decision to get this trainer, like, that's it. I'm the kind of person, if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to make myself do a thing. And I think that's important for women, because if there's something you want to do, it's so easy to get discouraged. It's so easy to get unmotivated. It's so easy to be lazy. And you've heard me say this time and time again, do the hard thing. Push yourself when you don't feel like it. Right now I work out 6 days a week and sometimes a 7th day. So that means I might not get a break in the gym until that 14th day. And I haven't said this to too many people, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I am training for a fitness competition. I'm going to be in a bikini fitness competition in June. So that too, like, my whole lifestyle, when I say no partying, no alcohol, no fried foods, no bread, no sugar, I am she. That's me. And when you think too much about it, it's difficult. But that's why I say I don't think about it. I just do it. I jump out there, do a thing, and figure it out along the way. Just do it. Just do it. You're your own limitation. You just got to do it.
Yeah.
And so that's what it is. I just went out there and did it. And once I made the decision, I was like, oh, shoot, we're going to start training tomorrow. Okay. What I got to do? Okay. And I just went with it, you know? Don't think yourself out of it. Don't think too hard.
You'll think yourself out of it. How long have you been not training for competition, but training, like locked in training? How long have you been doing that now? Because I know you said you go to the gym, but when you got the trainer, how long have you been doing that?
It's November. I've been with my trainer since November of last year. But before then, even before her, she saw me at the gym all the time. And she was like, I see you all the time. I'm like, yeah, but let's go ahead and step it up a notch. Let's take it up to the next level.
Right. Y'all, I'm laughing because when you go to her page, because I make sure y'all follow her, want to get that community up, you would think she's been doing this for years. Like, it gives 5 years and counting. Like, I've been on this gym. It gives longevity. And that's the power of locking in. Like, time is not real anyway. Let's be honest. So it's all in the mind. Like, if you decided when you decided I'm going to train, you became a woman who trains with a personal trainer. And y'all, I did not know she was getting competition ready, but I got goddess energy, so I could sense it because it's giving competing. It's giving I'm going to the next level. Like, that's what I love about you, Kourtney. Y'all, when I tell y'all she's with my disciplined friend, honey, she snaps in. Like, you snap into reality. Like, okay, that was cool. Let's get to it. What you trying to do? How we gonna do it? Because that mindset is so necessary when you're trying to do anything. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do. So if you're watching and you've been thinking about starting something, I would love you to the energy that Kourtney has given us to just do it. Don't think too hard about it and jump in and do it, because you just never know what a week can change everything, right? Even a day, but even 1 week of commitment can really help you, get to your goals. So Kourtney, you have our full support. I'm so excited for you, but I'm listening. Go ahead.
So one thing, and I was even hard on myself because I'm like, oh, I haven't been in my business like I need to. I need to do this. But one thing that I'm always on social media and I'm always following or listening to people who are doing 10 times what I'm doing. And I listen and I take it with me and I carry it and I do it, right? One of the things that I heard someone say about Steve Jobs and Elon Musk is you have to cut the noise. Cut out the noise. You will go quantum leaps. You will make tremendous strides once you cut out the noise. The noise is the distractions, the excuses as to why you're not doing it, the putting it off till tomorrow. When you make a decision and you lock in, you'll go light years faster and ahead than sitting here making out a plan, trying to figure all the details out in the beginning. Just do it. Figure it out along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. And that kind of reminds me of like that's intuition. How do you stay connected with your intuition? If that's even a thing, you might already naturally be connected, but the intuition while making major life decisions and business decisions, like, do you ever have that gut feeling, and do you trust your intuition? Like, how does that look for you?
So for me, I think the easiest way for me to put it is when I'm thinking something, if something comes to my mind, even if it's, I wonder how this facility is doing, I go to that facility. Because if it's a thought, if it has come to me, that means there's something I need to check on. There's something I need to do. Or if there's a thought of, I need to stay still in this moment. We're not going to grow. I'm not going to look for business. We're going to stay put and we're going to manage what we have. I just do it. I listen to it because I know that's God telling me this is where you need to be. This is how you need to, and it's gonna help your growth. If you follow and you're obedient, don't force. I never try to force. If something is not working, if a door has closed or something isn't opening for me, what I do is I speak to it. I pray about it. God, you know what it is. I trust you. And I promise you the door will open. So I just really rely heavily on my faith, and I listen, and I'm obedient.
That is so powerful. Yeah. So, and my one last question, which is kind of what we just talked about, but I want to dive a little deeper about staying grounded and aligned in your feminine energy as a business owner, because on this platform, we do talk a lot about masculine and feminine energy and really helping women not only tap in, which is what you were just saying earlier, but just staying there, right? Not getting outside of ourselves to do too much hustling or, being hard or whatever the words, because we all know what I'm talking about. So on this platform, we really do center that feminine energy, that feminine essence. So how do you stay in your feminine energy or stay grounded as a business owner? Because you're carrying a lot, but it does not look like it at all. So talk to us a little bit about that.
So as a single mother and someone who is running a business, I tell people this all the time. I make decisions all day long. I'm telling people what to do all day long, from my kids to guidance to my employees. So for me, I still, even though I'm a single woman, I know what it looks like, and I know that I want to be led, right? So it's important for me that I'm always listening no matter what. I don't have the final say, even when it comes to my employees. I keep it open communication because that's something you have to have. Like, that's just what it is. If I want to be feminine, you can't overtalk everybody. You can't bark at everybody. You know what I'm saying? And then being a mother keeps me in my feminine energy. They have to have me nurturing and soft and, know, all the things. So that keeps me for sure. And that, kids are everything. They keep you grounded.
They are. They do, Kourtney. And it's funny you say that because when I became a mother, it wasn't even a try when it comes to being feminine or grounded. I'm telling you, the minute I became a mother, I got real aware that I was on earth. Look, I am where I am. I see the time, date, everything got so grounded in reality.
Yes.
Because I was very delusional before I was a mom. Like I live in my little imagination, which helped me up until this point. Okay. Then when I became a mother, it is the Lulu might be your Salulu, but you have to ground that into reality so you can enjoy it, right? And I am so grateful that I became a mother when I did, because that thing just brought me back to myself. That's something I said recently. I said motherhood brings you back to yourself unless you'd rather run, right? Some people, they're like, I don't want to be with myself. I'm finna go get away from me. But if you're comfortable in yourself, which like Beyonce is cozy, comfortable in my skin, like if you're comfortable with yourself, motherhood will help you remember who you are, right? And it's like your roots are like grounded. You get back to your own roots, where you come from, and you're able to just show up as your authentic self, because your child right there, an extension of you. And so it's just so beautiful. And I think it births a different version of you that is needed to get things done. Right. And so I think people, I don't know what people think, but I'm just saying they might underestimate, but don't underestimate the power of a woman who is also a mother, who also has a goal, because motherhood pushes you to your best self, because the actual initiation of motherhood actually just does that, right? And so for some women, like I said, other women, they might run from that responsibility. But if you're up for the challenge, you just become a whole different version of yourself and you get better. So wow, Kourtney, this was such an amazing conversation. I'm so excited to watch your journey. I can't wait to see you compete. Oh my God, I didn't mean to spill the tea, but they heard it here first, right? That is so cool, girl. That is just amazing. Excited. Like I said, I know someone in my hometown. She always competed. Like she goes to the gym. Then she does. In Huntsville, in my hometown, and she's an OG beauty goddess. I get her on the show because I just love her journey. And she's in her, I think, 40s or early 50s, and she just gets down on that stage, just looking so beautiful. And she does it like a hobby, you know. And I get it. I see you, Kourtney. It's funny I even said that.
Yes. Well, and it's funny because it pushes you to a whole different level of discipline. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. And speaking of discipline, let's just dive into that real quickly, because I think that's been the whole theme of the conversation today is about discipline. I'll give some tips on self-discipline and discipline. Like, talk to us, how important is discipline in your everyday life? Like, I feel like you're the discipline queen, Kourtney. Like, I got a friend or someone who came on the show. She's the boundaries queen. She talks about boundaries. Had another guest that talk about empowering women and finances. I say, Kourtney, you carry the crown of discipline. Okay, we're talking discipline. So talk to us real quickly about discipline. How important is it, and how do you channel it for yourself?
I think, so there's a healthy boundary and limit with your discipline, right? You have to keep it healthy. Don't go overboard with it. So for me, as a Capricorn, we tend to be pretty disciplined people. And when we set our eyes on a goal, we stick to it. We make it happen. I am a by any means necessary type of person. So you really have to change your perspective and your mindset. And like I said before, it's easy to come up with an excuse to not do something, but to push yourself and say, you know what? And then too, I'm going to tell you, when I'm working out, they'll have it on the sports channel, and I'll look at track runners. I look at LeBron James. I look at people who are doing a thing. I'm like, if they can push themselves, why can't I just do these little 30 minutes in this gym? Why can't I just do this? You know? So I look and I watch, and that helps me to lock in. But really, you have to make a decision. You have to be strong within yourself, and you have to make the decision that by any means necessary, this is what I'm going to do. If I want this, write it down too. I tell anybody, write your goals down. Give yourself an end date. make yourself meet that goal. And I think once you start, and it's not an overnight thing. If you lack discipline in certain areas, it's not going to happen overnight. But give yourself grace and pat yourself on the back. Even if you didn't show up all the way, you took a step. Okay, that's further than you were yesterday. We're going to do better next time, and just keep it going. And next thing you know, you're going to be doing it all the way. So shift that mindset, make yourself do a thing, have an accountability partner, and write it down.
All right. You heard it here first. Have an accountability partner, write it down, just do it. These are the things, okay? Talk discipline. Well, Kourtney, this has been such an amazing conversation. I'm so excited that you were able to join us and talk about your business, your personal mastery, and the things that you do to keep going, and also giving us some tips on how we can lock in and get into this Capricorn energy, which is the most disciplined sign of the zodiac, by the way. Fun fact. Because you just embody it so well, which is also a feminine sign. So that's the irony here, right? You would think it's some masculine sign like army, military. No, most disciplined sign of the zodiac is actually Capricorn, and also a feminine sign. So with that being said, thank you, Kourtney, for your time and for your conversation. Now, before we jump out of here, how people connect and learn more about your business and also follow you on social media for your fitness and wellness content, because I feel like we got both conversations going here.
Yes. So my Instagram is chow_Bella001. And then I'm new to TikTok. Thank you to Giselle. But TikTok is Sport Fitness. And I do on TikTok, it's not just all about fitness. You see my family life. I have my kids on there. Some of the things we're doing day to day. My workouts, of course, here and there. My progress as I'm working towards my June competition date. So yeah, just follow me. If you have any questions too, I'm open to answer questions regarding anything. Hit me up.
Thank you. And what about your business? If they're in the patient transportation, if they're in your market or maybe they came across your business from this podcast and want to plug your business in with people they might know locally in the Birmingham or Alabaster area, how can they learn more about your company?
Okay, so our website is www.patienttransportation.net. You can go on there. Our telephone number is on there. You can give us a call anytime. If you have any questions about booking an appointment or anything like that, you can either go through the website or give us a call. Our telephone number is 205-291-3540, and we can get you set up.
All right. Thank you so much, Kourtney.
Thank you for having
me. Absolutely. It's always so fun. I'm just so excited. And I just love you. And I love this journey. This is so amazing.
I love you too, girl. Yes.
So with that being said, y'all, this is episode 21 of Conversation with Kourtney Hayes. You're watching the Goddess Giselle podcast. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.